So what's up people, it's me again, and today I'm gonna show you how to install the Marshmallow port for the Note 3 with the 2026 patches. So as a matter of fact, this phone still has custom ROMs, I mean in the big 2026. So first of all, just to let you know that I wiped everything on this phone just for the sake of this tutorial. I also make backups just in case. So here, first we're gonna find the zip file, which has this file name. Swipe to confirm flash. Wait for it. So just in case you're wondering, so for the 5.0 official with 2026 patches, which I also made, it requires you to use TWRP 2.8, but this one, regardless of the version, it will work even if you're using Orange Fox. The main reason why the 5.0 official with 2026 patches does not support other versions other than this TWRP version 2.8 is because it uses Aroma installer, while this one does not uses Aroma installer. So if you guys wondering, I modified this guy's ROM because they no longer maintain it, so I was the one who's currently maintaining it. And as you can see, we are pretty much closer to the finish, so let's just wait for it. So here, at this point, you're just gonna press reboot system. This will gonna take you to new ROM. Also, just in case you're wondering, yes, it's also rooted out of the box, so it's already rooted. But just in case you're wondering why sometimes it's boot looping when you made some modifications, well, first of all, you should not fill up the system partition, as that causes boot loop. Be sure you leave some 5 megabytes of space on that system partition, otherwise it's gonna boot loop. So don't fill up your system partition and give it at least 5 megabytes free space. The more space it has, the better. So the default ones, which is after the installation, it has some 17 to 13 megabytes left, considering that the preloaded apps are taking that up. But at the same time, you can customize it because it's rooted as well, just to let you know. Okay, I'm just taking out the stylus. So let's just wait again. Okay, that's taking a while, but let's talk more about it. So for the bugs, first of all, NFC doesn't work, so you cannot use Android Beam there. It's been an issue there since the base doesn't support it. And the second issue is that if you, let us say, because this phone removes the air gestures, we're not talking about air view, but air gestures where you just, and it will change the view. If you, like I say, you left it enabled in the 5.0 stock, you upgraded there, then you get onto this ROM, you cannot turn it off, and at the same time it doesn't work there. You can see the icon in the status bar, but it does nothing. Also, if you're asking, yes, it is actually possible to upgrade from 5.0 stock to this unofficial 6.0 port, which is kinda neat, but take note that clean installation is much recommended because it eliminates the possible bugs. But again, this is your choice. If you're still keeping your data, like your apps pre-installed, go ahead, that's not my problem. But the thing is, you can actually preserve the files but at the same time resetting the settings by, because in TWRP you have the option to just wipe the data settings without wiping the internal storage, or simply full wipe. Yes, you can customize your wipe options, but for me, I just wipe everything except the internal storage and the SD card. Well, we just reached the so-called installing application spots. These are the preloaded applications, which includes these applications like Opera, the pre-updated Google Play services, the pre-updated WebView, and so on. This Kings of Office, alongside with the API demos APK. So if you're wondering, yes, you can uninstall Opera, Kings of Office, and API demos if you want to, because they are uninstallable apps. But for whatever reason, I just included them into the ROM. Again, this ROM is highly customizable, so you can pretty much, or even better, you can just modify the zip file before installing it in your phone. That will save you a lot for your sanity. Feel free to modify the ROM if you want to. Like for example, you're using an alternative browser, go ahead, that's alright. And also, if you're wondering why the phone is getting hotter, well, that's normal when installing custom ROMs, but it should cool down once you let it rest and go ahead. So that's why I removed setup wizard there, because it requires internet, which makes the phone hotter. But by speeding up the setup, letting you reach the home screen quicker, it's gonna allow the phone to rest. It's gonna allow you to take a break from your phone, and once it's cold, or so they say, cooled down, you can start using it again. So as of now, we are in halfway of the installing applications phase. Well, also in the bright side, you can just turn off that screen for a while and be right back there once it's finished. It's also gonna do the job as well, which allows it to cool down again. So anyways, I'll be right back once it's done. Well, it's time to set it up. So as you can see, finally reached the setup phase. So you can just leave this on. Check this. I recommend selecting this to no thanks. Next, and it's pretty much speedy. As you can see, by getting rid of the setup wizard, the APK thingy, we just got here right quickly. As you can see, not only it's a lot faster to set up, but also you can notice how faster it is, instead of waiting like an eternity just to set it up. Just look at this, we are finally in this one, but for some reason it's saying in progress. I don't know why. Okay, turns out we have to connect to the Wi-Fi, that's why. But you can just skip this. And this is it. Congratulations. We finally reached the end of the setup. We finally set up the ROM. You can just go ahead do whatever shenanigans you want to do. Everything is pretty much set up in here. It's pretty much ready to use out of the box. yes, you also have these, but again, these are uninstallable. But if you don't trust me, I'm just gonna show you how. And we don't have API demos because we uninstalled that. But aside from these goodies, if you go to settings, we finally have the options for S Pen Air View. So by default this is set to pen, but you can set it to auto switch. Enable those. Yes, it should work for these. I mean many things are going on here. And also I fixed the bug in Air Command where it crashes Air Command while adding shortcuts. Just a proof of concept. Yes, you can finally add shortcuts at the usual way. But also here. Yep, I shouldn't show that before. So here in settings, you also have this option which is already enabled out of the box. You can see we set up the phone before it's on 1%, but now as of 1448 it's already in 23%, which is kinda notable. But since we are still in 23%, we still have an hour left. But you also have more stuff going on here aside from those. I mean, aside from it being an S5 port for the Note 3, there's a lot of things going on here. And yes, this is Android 6 if you ask. I mean, basically an S5 port, but with Note 3 features. Well, not all of the Note 3 features because you don't have that air browse thingy. Also, I noticed that private mode doesn't work really well in here. Let me just show you what's happening here. Okay, I'm just gonna set up the pattern because in here I'm gonna draw the pattern and it is private, failed to turn on. It's kind of weird though. I mean, if you can get rid of the feature, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Also, sometimes the animations don't display quite properly here. I don't understand why. But the rest, everything is good. Just with minor bugs. I mean, those bugs won't be that a deal breaker. I mean, it's pretty much close to stable. But the thing is, those bugs, like the NFC bug, which, you know, if you use NFC a lot, this ROM isn't for you. Also, offline charging is kinda broken in here, so if we power it off, let it charge, and want to boot up the phone again, you'll notice that, okay, here it goes, so it's charging, you can see that. Yes, it displays the percentage correctly. So in the unmodified one, it has those minor glitches where the home button works though, but okay, let's wait for it to dim. It should, okay, it's dimming until the screen turns off. Okay, let's turn off. So if you're pressing the power button, nothing happens. It should turn on the screen. Same goes to the home button. This is pretty undesired because oh, it actually works. My bad. But here's the thing. If you want to start up the phone, it should boot right away. But no, it just loops there. So the only way to start up the phone is to take off the battery while it's being on this mode. This is what we call offline charging. Okay, let's just take it off. And that's how you can just escape from that bug. It's kind of weird though. But there you go, it works. So that being said, aside from those minor bugs, this ROM, well, it's pretty much stable on this phone. Just with those minor bugs, it won't affect the way how the phone works. Though they might be annoying because first of all, if you're using NFC a lot, it's gonna be a meh for you. Though some users might not care about it. So yeah, aside from those, you know, there's a lot of things going on here, like go here, the settings. We also have a new light wallpaper, by the way, which is the next. It's not entirely new, but I added this to this ROM. Also, this is more funsies here, like the toolbox. You can just make use of that, or just disable it if you don't want to use it. Assistant menu was pretty much redesigned at this point. Air wake up. So if you're making use of this feature, and that just pretty much wakes up the phone. Oh, a lot of things going on. Talkback isn't it's actually pre-installed there. So if you're wondering why these three options are blank, you have to enable talkback first before you can.
Accessibility tutorial. Calculate. Keep sliding your finger around talkback. Vision.
And that's where
Dark screen. Keep the screen turned off at all times for privacy.
Okay.
Double press the power. Music.
Okay. I'm talking. Okay. So just to make use of those three options, you have to enable talkback.
Talkback on. Talkback on. Alert turn off. Talk.
Okay, never mind. That's just annoying, please. So a lot of things going on here. At the same time, there are buggy stuffs here. So that's all about this ROM. It has those 2026 funsies there, which was made to be, ready for modern use. Well, don't expect all apps will work. Like the YouTube app no longer supports Android 6. The Discord app still works, but you have to use an older version. But the most important part is Real London still works. As you can see, that it still works. It also still watch YouTube videos on this phone with Opera browser, specifically the mini version, because it has to be like because this phone only has 16 gigabytes, although there are also 32 gig and 64 gigs option of this. There you go, that's how you watch YouTube, just in browsers. So I'm gonna search up for my name. Oh, oops. Okay, that's a little bit because this phone is kinda hot. Okay, and pretty much it. Just except the Wi-Fi signal is kinda low in my area, that's why it's kinda slow to load. But it should be faster to load if you're on an area where your Wi-Fi signal is good. So that's pretty much that. Also, there are also one last thing I have to mention here. So the dual camera mode is broken, so don't make use of that because it's gonna make the camera app crash. As you can see, it just crashes. But if this happens, clear that from the recent apps, and okay, it's kind of weird. And that fixes the camera app. Those are the minor bugs. But the rest of these, they work normally. So that's all for that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed for this video. Anyways, goodbye.